And as you can see, the difference is military operations and reconstructions. And of course, you can see the military operation has been where the money has been going, right? So this is, you can take a look at it. It just tells you how the ebb and flow of US spending in Afghanistan looks like. Even in terms of the troop presence, that when the spending, if you look at the slide, when the spending peaked around 2011 and 12, it is the same time that 11, 10, 11, 12 was the time that they have the troop presence, as highest. And then as time, it has been coming down. Now, when we talk about the money, okay, and the problem with respect to that, like I told you that it is also a problem for the global economy. So the money that is spent on Afghanistan also includes the money that is spent on Pakistan. Why? Because USA has been, US has been using Pakistan as a base for Afghan-related operations. Okay, something that now Pakistan is showing a lot of attitude for, okay, in your language, attitude, because Pakistan says that, oh, we have a new friend, China, and China is really very powerful, right? But anyway, USA also knows this game really well, so they know how to balance. Anyway, not just that, UK and Germany, so most of us, we keep talking about America, but UK and Germany have also had the largest number of troops in Afghanistan after the US, and they have spent, UK has spent about $30 billion, Germany has spent about $19 billion. Okay, so what I mean to say that it's not just the US money, it is also UK, Germany, NATO. Everybody's money has been pooling, going into Afghanistan, and for what? For the Taliban to come back, please. Now the question is that why did America retreat, right? So you see that actually the fact that the Afghan war is not making sense had been there in the American Senate and the American decision making for about 10 years, and especially under Donald Trump, there was this thing of reviving the America First policy that, why should we need to give our taxpayers' money to them? We need to, spend it on America. If he started the trade wars with China, etc. And it was Trump who had this historic Doha deal in February 2020. Now, the natural question that I asked you then, if you remember, was that why did the American president cut this deal with the Taliban? Why not the Afghan government, which they have been, supporting for 20 damn years? Because they knew that once the Americans leave the country as a major security providers, it is the Taliban. They are going to come back. Hence, whatever deal you want to strike, it makes sense that you strike with the Taliban. What is another problem? US weapons are now in Taliban hands, okay? Taliban for years have procured weapons and ammunition from the black market. So until now, they were going to the black market. Now what has happened that US left, Afghan military just gave up without even fighting. And this collapse has given an entire arms bonanza for the Taliban militants, okay? Not just the American-made infantry weapons, these Talibanis now, they possess equipment, vehicles, Humvees, armored personnel carriers, at least Black Hawk helicopter. Okay, they are also having an air base. They are just having the time of their lives. Okay, so they have about $85 billion worth of US weaponry in their hands. I mean, this is just pretty crazy, okay, about when it comes to what happens now, what sort of a thing that India should expect. Now, has the US really left? And why is the US leaving? Okay. Now, please understand that even if they're not in Afghanistan, US has a military base in Qatar. Okay. US continues to use a military base in Qatar. And till now, they were using it for CENTCOM. You know what is CENTCOM? CENTCOM is the US Central Command. But now they are saying that we are going to divert our funds from Central Command, which was looking in Middle East, to Pacific Command, the Indo-Pacific Command, the PACICOM. Look here, okay? Because they think that it is basically, China where the real threat lies, okay? So this is something which is actually fueling US to leave these guys alone and now shift their resources and everything to China. Okay, so this explains as to why US is leaving. What else? So Taliban has formed the government. Right now, they are in talks because they feel that they are going to make an inclusive government. But let's see if they have made an inclusive government. Right now, the current Taliban government has people who are all dreaded. Most of them are dreaded terrorists. They are on, the most wanted list. by the US, by the UN. Look at this. So the new cabinet has been made. It is an interim cabinet. It is an entirely male cabinet. Okay. And a lot of people are on the US hit list. Let's see who. Led by Mullah Muhammad Hassan Akhund. He's one of the founders. He's been blacklisted by UN. Okay. He was not supposed to be appointed, but a few days ago, the Pakistani ISI chief went there, and then there was some fighting happening because all these guys know is fighting. And he said that, okay, you put this guy on. Okay. So Mullah Muhammad Hassan Akhund came. He's more of a, his appointment is seen as a compromise. Who else? The Interior Minister or the Home Minister is the feared FBI wanted leader of Haqqani militant group, which is a specialized group within the Taliban, Sirajuddin Haqqani, leader of the Haqqani network. He is backed by ISI. Unlike the wider Taliban, the Haqqani network has been designated to foreign terrorist organization by the US. It also maintains close ties with Al-Qaeda. Who is the defense minister? Defense Minister is Mullah Yaqub. Mullah Yaqub is the son of Mullah Umar, the founder. And by the way, Mullah Yaqub is also only relatively pro-India. Okay? Who else? Amir Khan Mutaqi. He is the acting foreign minister. Right? What else? The supreme leader is still Hibatullah Akhundzada. And he has told the government, this interim government, to uphold Sharia. Okay, so Taliban view is that a Taliban victory can only mean Taliban rule. What do you mean by inclusiveness? Okay, all of us need to be there. That's inclusive. As for women, they have already made it very clear. There was never a chance that they would be given a ministerial role, and there was a Ministry of Women's Affairs, and right now it stands abolished. Fine. What about Taliban in the world? So Taliban have invited Russia, China, Turkey, Iran, Pakistan, and Qatar. By the way, these are the countries who had not closed down their, their embassies while the rest of the world was flying, was running away from Afghanistan. Now, the thing is that while these people have been invited, Russia, China, Pakistan, I will not, come to Pakistan. We'll come to Pakistan later because they have a special relationship. But countries like Russia, China, etc., they have always been pro-Taliban for many years. But none of them has given a legitimate recognition to the interim government because everybody is worried about whatever is happening. Okay. And everybody is following the policy of wait and watch. Okay. So for most of these countries, and now we are coming to these countries as to what really they are doing. Like I said, we leave aside Pakistan because they need a special mention. You know why Pakistan and Taliban need a special mention? Because I remember telling you that it was when Taliban were, chased away from America by Bush administration under Operation Endure Freedom. They went to Pakistan. They hid in Pakistan, right? Pakistanis nurtured them, did everything, They have allegiance to Islamabad and Rawalpindi. ISI plays a major role. They have been on record saying that we are custodians of Taliban leaders. They got shelter, education, home, everything, right? Role of the ISI, the covert role has always been well known, and ISI recently also, it's in public view. I have it, and a lot of other analysts have it. They have a list of ISI sponsored experts on Pakistan's Taliban's narrative. As in, if you want to know about what Pakistan narrative is, ISI has told the world that these are the 5 names. Okay, please talk to them. They will tell you Pakistan's narrative, okay, of what they want to do with Taliban. What is basically Pakistan wanting to do with the Taliban? Pakistan wants to nurture Taliban, to oblige Taliban, and then use Taliban and the land of Afghanistan for their anti-Indian activities in Kashmir. It's very, very clear. They've said that we are going to liberate, Taliban is going to help Pakistan liberate Kashmir. Okay? So the thing is, but Taliban doesn't want to do that. Why? Because they just want to stay a little bit away from these controversies. Now, that does not mean that they will not do it, or that they will never raise the question of Kashmir. But right now, they don't want to, get into all this. Right now, this is what the stand of Taliban is right now. They don't want to, give statements on Kashmir, etc. Now, there's another problem also between Pakistan and Taliban. This is the Durand Line. Durand Line is the international, line dividing Pakistan and Afghanistan. This was made by the Britishers. The problem is the problem of Pashtuns. If you look at the Pashtun population in green, the Pashtun population is divided into half by the Durand line. Afghani people, especially the Pashtuns, the Taliban says, we do not accept the Durand line. Pakistan says, no, no, bhai, Durand line is our international boundary. So this problem is a problem which is not resolved, and it might affect the Pakistan, Afghanistan, and the stability of this entire region. And that is why Pakistan is being so nice to the Taliban. You be nice to the Taliban, you give them food, shelter, money, everything. And in lieu, you use them for anti-Kashmir activities, and you hope that maybe they will give up their claim on the Durand line. That is Pakistan's strategy. What else? There is another problem that Pakistan has. It is called the TTP problem. TTP, you know what TTP stands for? TTP stands for Tehreek-e-Taliban. You know what Tehreek-e-Taliban is? It is the Talibani branch for Pakistan. Pashtun Islamist armed student group, which is based on Afghan-Pakistan border. And this is the Afghan Taliban's friend and ideological twin. And you know what so on the one hand, Pakistan is having such close ties with Taliban, from Afghanistan. On the other hand, this TTP is actually killing. Thousands of Pakistanis have been killed by TTP. Pakistani army people, police people. Okay, Pakistani army retaliated in May 2021. They killed their supreme leader. This is a headache for Pakistan, right? And they have been saying that, see, please tell your TTP, control them. Taliban says we don't have anything to do with them. So on the one hand, Taliban has tried to give a sense to the world that they do not want to interfere in other countries' problems, whether it's Pakistan or India. But on the other hand, since they all share a jihadi mindset, and they are all, first cousins, second cousins, like Tehreek-e-Taliban and Taliban, Al-Qaeda, Big Brother, etc., you cannot expect that they are going to be completely democratic, or they are going to actually live up to their promise. Okay, so we don't know. This is a situation which whose outcome we do not know. But TTP is a massive problem for Pakistan. Okay, what else? Now, if you look at China, right? Because we want to know China. And what time is it? Yeah, you want me to wrap up now?
Yes, ma'am. I want to say that there's a frequent power cut due to a connectivity issue. So okay. I request you to kindly wrap up, and if we can take a few questions, 1-2 questions, all right. And so then we can move on.
Right. Okay, I get it. So basically, there was this, what I'll do is that I will probably share the PPT, right? And that you can share with your students later. So I wanted to take up if you give me 2 minutes, I wanted to take up what is China's interest in Afghanistan, which is basically economic. Right. Having said that, they want to link the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is CPEC, with Kabul, and this is what the CPEC looks like. But and that is also a strategy of encircling India, okay, and etc. So this is the things that I wanted to bring out. And but the problem is that they also want to have a stable Afghanistan, and we do not know when stability will come. So that was one point I was wanting to discuss. Then I wanted to discuss the Russia and the Taliban angle, and then eventually come to India, because India has $3 billion. India has trade. India has cultural ties. India has been these are the two major things: the Salma Dam project and the Zaranj-Delaram highway that India has made. And earlier, India had a 3 red line approach, that we will not talk to terrorists. After 2019, India changed their attitude towards Taliban a little bit, because Taliban did not criticize abrogation of Article 370 like Pakistan wanted them to do. But, India did not at that time come out of the closet and started officially talking to them. The first ever official talk with the Taliban happened last month with Deepak Malik. Okay, and a lot of people say that this is a kind of a branding failure of India, because India was never really looked at somebody with whom Taliban has that has any influence with Taliban. India was constantly looked at somebody or a country which will go for post-conflict reconstruction, and therefore it is not really a major power. So India has also tried to change that approach, and so far Taliban has not really gone against India. Right now, India's new approach to Taliban is also the same, that we are saying that we want to really make sure that the Afghan people are safe. We are constantly meeting with intelligence people from America, from UK, from Russia. So basically it shows that everybody is a little worried and waiting and watching about what will happen in Afghanistan. Ultimately, India, in terms of reliance on external strategy, India is engaging with both Russia, because we have good relations with Russia, and also with Iran, because both these two countries have some influence with Taliban. What else? Internal problems I already discussed, that there are some internal problems within Taliban, because there are factions. There is TTP problem. There is the ISIS-K problem. Okay, the Taliban are fighting them. Al-Qaeda wants to support, but Taliban, so far, China does not want to support them. So I know I'm going fast, but I'm just telling you that these are the things I was wanting to cover. And finally, right now, there is a financial freeze on a lot of foreign reserves of Afghanistan. And constantly, United Nations has been saying that the fear is that if you continue with this freeze for a long time, this is going to have a catastrophic effect on Afghan society. That area is going to become a thriving black market for drugs, illegal weapons, etc. Okay, so this is how it affects the, if I may, wrap up. That for India, we are really worried that Pakistan wants to play this dirty game of using Taliban against India for Kashmir-related activities, and they have links with Lashkar-e-Taiba, they have links with the Al-Qaeda, and we do not know. So we are ready, but we, on the one hand, we do not want our economic investments in Taliban to suffer, and on the other hand, we want the security situation out there to remain contained. This is what India is doing. Now, may I have questions?
Yes, ma'am. Now let's move on to the question and answer session. Ma'am, the first question is from Swasti Chaturvedi. Okay. Ma'am, do you think that the decision of US to withdraw troops from Afghanistan was right, and whether the Afghanistan army and government should be held solely responsible for the current situation?
So like I said, it's a good question because it is a very natural question. Like I said, the decision, the realization that this long 20-year war is not really helping either USA or Afghanistan, that realization had set in. Obama administration itself, the brainstorming has started. Okay, that are we really justifying the taxpayers' money? I mean, we're not really able to do anything. But so the decision to retreat from Afghanistan came at the correct time. There is no problem with the decision. The problem is with the way the Biden administration has carried it. The way, which means that running away, leaving the weapons in the hands of Talibanis. That is something which is something very, very problematic. And that is being criticized already. Yes. Anything?
Thank you very much, ma'am. And ma'am, due to the time we have to wrap up, and that's why we can move on to the vote of thanks. So I request Manjeet to give the vote of thanks now.
Manjeet, you're not audible. Can you switch off and on your mic?
His audio is not connected.
Okay.
Manjeet, you're not audible now. Still. Remove your headphones.
There is a question that is being asked in the chat box about can we get PPT? So I can email the PPT, right? Or you want me to
am I audible now?
About it?
Yes, Manjeet, continue.
Thank you, ma'am. I, Manjeet Singh Jat, on the behalf of Department of Law, Prestige Institute of Management and Research, Indore, would like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Swasti Rao, ma'am, for sparing her valuable time and her thoughts, giving us precious knowledge in abundance. I would also thank Assistant Professor Kamlesh Jain sir for organizing this EML and for his vision and guidance at every step. I thank Assistant Professor Navrati ma'am for her presence during the session. I also thank Assistant Professor Nakul Singh Chauhan sir for his support throughout the session. I thank Student Coordinator of EML Committee, Ms. Priyanshi Jain, Mr. Nishan Jain, Mr. Kshitij Rajpurohit, and all other team members. And I also thank all dear students for being patient and gaining all the knowledge and lessons come. Thank you very much for this wonderful session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Before we end the session, please accept my sincerest apologies for the technical glitch that we are facing today.
It happens.
So
it happens. Never mind.
we would love to, we would also love to have you in our campus in person once we are done with the COVID pandemic. It would be great to have you with us.
Just tell me, let me know later if you want the PPT or you want me to put it in the form of a like a Word file, you know.
Ma'am, a PPT will do. We'll just share the PPT with all the students, and plus the whole session was recorded and it's also available live on YouTube. So whenever they want to refer it, they can.
That's okay. That's okay. Great. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.